Well, I'm here with Scott Vaughan. You are the Chief Growth Officer of Integrate, Scott. We were just talking about B2B marketing trends from a sales and marketing perspective, about alignment and friction. What are you seeing right now with your clients, large enterprise clients of Integrate? What are they wrestling with?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting time. We're kind of through this first era of modern marketing. The last decade, a lot of us grew up on was marketing was going to come in and we weren't going to just be the brand and product people, we were going to drive revenue. It's been a good decade, we've made real progress, but one of the challenges is marketing got more and more into generating leads for sales. Send the leads to sales, says, they're junk or they're not good enough. And so marketing got more intelligence, put more, I'm going to automate this and add intelligence to that, and kind of got into qualification and discovery and stuff sales typically does. And so unintentionally, marketing and sales have gotten a little bit into a direct competition with each other. And sales is kind of off building their own stack, and before long, sales is into marketing. So it's a little bit out of joint and out of whack. And what we see happening now is companies coming back and trying to build, how do you build a kind of a center of excellence to bring sales and marketing together, to bring the data together in one place, and also really importantly, marketing getting back to great breakthrough creative marketing, and sales getting back to driving a great engagement with the buyer. And that doesn't mean marketing doesn't contribute to revenue, quite the opposite, but trying to find their lanes and alignment again. That's what we see going on in a lot of B2B enterprises.
Do you feel like data is understood, and you and I are both big fans of data, is data understood at the executive level beyond sales and marketing of what the impact is to the business, to revenue growth, or is it still kind of a struggle in companies?
It's a struggle because a couple of things. There is both bad data problems and then there's data that's siloed. Everything I just described, man, we automated and we have the best stack for events, or I've got incredible search. And so what happens is you have silos of data that are kind of driven from the funnel era that we went through in modern marketing, and all of us are trying to move to buyers' journeys. Well, that's kind of a redo on the infrastructure, how we gather data, how we organize data, how we manage data. So that's one of our challenges, and companies are trying to tackle that as they move from funnels to journeys. And the other thing is, in that arena, is we're just plagued with dirty data. And a lot of companies keep trying to go in and clean up their database after the fact, and integrate what we've really done with our solution and our thinking is, don't let the dirty data in. Make sure it all gets validated, standardized, and is compliant before you push it into to your CRM and marketing automation in your databases.
Makes sense. Data is like the gas in the engine. If you don't have good data, if your gas in the engine's bad, the car's just not going to go. So,
or worse, it's going to, the data is going to take you to places that may be good in this part of marketing, but not that part of sales. And so that unified data approach, again, it's a byproduct of a path to get to where we are in sales and marketing. But I think everybody at this point, there's a little bit of lack of innovation in the marketing and sales tech industry. Not a knock against any of the vendors, we're a provider. And so the innovation is going to have to come from the B2B teams on really how to utilize, consolidate, and utilize tech and data in this new broader thinking, not just one-off automating process. That was the first generation, marketing automation. It was automating individual processes and to gain efficiency, and it was a great start, but it's not really going to be the next 2 to 3 years what needs to happen.
Just double clicking into that a little bit further, and there's 7,000 plus vendors out there right now. We just came out of a CMO session where the economy was the #1 issue. Do you see consolidation then, meaning bigger players acquiring the smaller players, or do you think it's going to be more of the MarTech vendors may not make it, like what in the next 3 years, 2 to 3 years?
I think B2B teams are going to have to make choices. You can't continue to buy one-off tools. So yeah, there has to be some sort of consolidation, and it's not just consolidation of vendors. I think the whole 7,000 thing is, every industry has that. So that's marketing MarTech. Doesn't make sense to me. If you're a B2B team, you have to make smart choices on what you're going to invest in. You're going to then have to innovate with those companies that you're doing it. I think a byproduct of that, there will be companies that don't make it, that fade away, that are simply a product, not a company. or they'll get acquired and part of something else. I do think that's inevitable. And by the way, I could do that chart, and I'm sure next year there'll be 8,000 and 9,000. You could just start counting. It's like the census. You can start counting people all kinds of funky ways. Don't get distracted by that is my advice. Focus on what you need for your business and not all the noise.
Excellent. Well, Scott, I really appreciate you making
You're welcome,
the time.
John. Always, brother.